because I want everybody to hear.
We need it quiet first.
I'm very fortunate and privileged this morning to have some special guests to come all the way from the West Coast, from Anaheim, California.
I know that all of you are just as excited
Professional weightlifter.
as I am to have the world record holder weightlifter.
Only man in history to have bench pressed in the 700-pound range.
Thank you. How's everybody doing today? Well, that's good. Does anybody know what a bench press is? Robert? What is
bench? You sit here upside down and push weights up and down.
Well, that's close. When someone is asked a question and you're not sure of what they're talking about, never be embarrassed to ask. A bench press is when you're lying on a bench, you're on your back, the weight is over you, it's lowered onto your chest, and it's pressed out forward. As the principal said, I hold a world record, 700.9 pounds, unofficial record of 750 pounds. I'm the first and only man in history to bench press in and over the 700-pound mark. In June of '85, I'm going to be bench pressing 800 pounds. Of all the American heroes that are out there, President Reagan has appointed me the ambassador of the American heroes, and I'm very, very honored to be that. But more importantly, it's how I got to that point. It's how I got there. I've got a few things written down. One's employment, meaning your career we're going to get into. Recreation, sports, training, education, your school experience. And then you see this program, Shear'Ree and You. Last month, March 14th, I started a national tour. My tour basically wasn't so much to get across of my 800-pound bench. However, I'm very excited about that. Lord's blessed me with a lot of talents. Obviously, strength is one of them. More importantly, this program of 12 years in the making. Now, everyone is here needs some form of employment, some form of recreation, and definitely need their education. Now, a lot of you kids today, employment, what you want to do in your life, so forth, you're probably going to have mixed thoughts about where you're at, where you're coming from, where you want to go to. Always keep in mind, if you're going to go for something, regardless of what it is, you follow through. Keep the negative thoughts out of your mind. Does everybody know what diet and nutrition means? Diet has a lot to do with all your school studies. Has a lot to do when you kids want to go out and play. How many here eat breakfast in the morning? Oh, that's great. Do you know why you eat breakfast in the morning? Why? Thomas, that's right. Let's say this little thing we got here, I'm going to tell you what. Let's say that's a motor. We're going to have to let's say because it sure don't look like one, right? Okay. Let's say this little thing on the side right here is the gas tank. When you get up in the morning, once you've got that motor running, it's going to start running off the gasoline you've got in the gas tank. Your breakfast is the most important meal you can eat. It's like the fuel. As you're going throughout the day, you're starting to burn a lot of gas. Well, I don't eat breakfast because I don't have time. What happens if you got up in the morning and started your car and it was on E and you didn't have time to get gas, what would happen? If you want to work hard at the given sport you're in, if you want to work hard at your recreational needs, your diet means a lot, an awful lot. Just like the food you eat, if you've never eaten lunch, dinner, and breakfast, and anything else, you're going to run out of gas. Make sure you have the proper food. Does everyone know what protein is? Where it comes from? Very important. To build your body strong, big, so you can get little muscles like that, you have to have protein, good calories. We're not talking about candy bars and bubble gum all the time and a lot of sugar here. We're talking about carbohydrates. Who likes to eat fruit? Apples, bananas, that's really good. I'm wondering why I'm up here. Everybody knows all this, huh? That's what you need to make your body function. If you eat good, it's going to get you through your day, it's going to make your studies easy and everything else. Does everybody here like to study? No. Okay, wait a minute. For all those who don't like to study, raise your hand. Okay, now, you there with the little fur jacket on, what is your name? Valerie? Why is it you don't like to study? What's that? You want to go to bed. Well, let me tell you something. Studying is going to play a very important part on your future. A lot of people, for whatever reason, seem to kind of have a a negative attitude when it comes down to their education. I'm originally from Cleveland, Ohio. I've been in California the last 8 years. In Cleveland, I come up on the streets. Now that statement, I feel very much so, is misled. A lot of people say, yeah, I come up on the streets too. You know, we used to hang around in the corner. Come on, give me a break. I'm talking hardcore. I've seen firsthand what's coming there. See, I'm not here to lecture you. I'm here to let you know what Program Shear'Ree is all about and how you fit into it. Education is very expensive. Survival is a big thing in that world out there today. You're getting your experience right here. If you don't maintain good health, you're going to go nowhere. If you don't maintain your studies here in school, you're going to go nowhere. I was a kid just like you, believe it or not. Everybody has their ups and downs. They say, nah, I don't like to study. I don't like to read books. I want to go outside and I want to play. The longer it takes you to do your homework, the less time you're going to have to play. Isn't that right? There's nothing wrong with playing. Recreation is a very, very important part of your life. First grade, sixth grade, if you're 20 years old, 30 or 40. Everyone needs a form of recreation. Everyone needs an outlet, a healthy outlet. That's going to start here. As of June of 1985 is going to be my last lift, and that's when the program's going to start. Right now we're in the construction stages of it. It's a national-based program. It's not something that's going to be in one state. And the reason why I'm here today, this school impressed me. You guys have a fine reputation, even all the way out on the West Coast, believe that or not. Your athletic department here is just outstanding. How many here want to take their sports somewhere? How do you think you're going to get there? Do you think you're going to get there by just walking softly, or you think you get some hard work behind there? Hard work. Hard work means a lot. A lot of people, kids your age, they think that, hey, I'm doing good now, so I don't really need to keep a point grade up. I don't really need to get that heavy into my education. I don't need nothing else to fall back on because I'm going to make it in football. I'm going to make it in basketball. I'm going to make it in baseball. What happens if you injure yourself and you can't play again? A lot of people try and think that those three subjects there are something different, that they're independent from one another. They are not. They all stick together from now until you leave this world. How far do you think you guys would get if you just said, well, yeah, I'm really going to work hard this week, but next week I'm going to kind of slack off a little bit. I want to party a little bit. There's nothing wrong with partying. Hell, I party my ass off too, but you kids here right now are having a big advantage of where you're at. Make use of it. Everybody wants to have a good job later on in life. The program is going to be working with the schools throughout the United States and helping all the children gaining their education, more ways, how to study. It costs a lot of money to educate you kids. The program is going to help aid in that. It's also going to help your recreation. Baseball, there will be volleyball, football. We're not here to change anything with the school districts or anything. We're here to aid in them. We're here to help. We're going to back you all the way. If anything, give you little tips on how to better yourself in any given sport, regardless of what the sport is. A lot of people think, I don't need to diet that much. I don't need to train myself. I don't need to build my strength. Well, I'll tell you, I don't care what sport you're in, everything's going to fall back on your training, whether it's stamina, whether it's increasing your muscle, it doesn't matter. Your diet and your rest and your exercise are the three things you are going to need so your body will perform the way you want it to. Now, when you get into rest, a lot of people think that means sleep. It doesn't. You guys got a game to play on Saturday. Thursday and Friday, you're going out and you're partying. You are just going through a lot of energy and a lot of calories. How much energy are you going to have for that Saturday game? Rest just doesn't mean sleep. Rest is a part of your training program. You cannot delete it. Does anybody have any questions on that? Yes, sir.
What kind of food do you eat?
When I get into my diet, poultry like chicken, turkey, fish, I don't eat that many red meats. I watch my calories to a given extent. Right now I'm still on a conditioning cycle, meaning that my calories are probably an intake of around 3,500 a day. My protein intake is probably about 200 a day. My carbohydrates, I don't watch that much, but I do watch my fat intake. And that's what you got to do on your end of it. Who has a question? You had one. When you ask, I want to know what your name is so I can direct the question to you. Chris? Okay.
Why do you have those slits in your arm right here?
Okay. These slits in my arm right here, they're scars. When I was a young boy, getting to walk, I pulled a tablecloth and a cup of hot water fell on me. It's a good question to ask. never, never play with things that may be dangerous. Do we all understand that? Melissa, okay. I started weightlifting at age 14. A lot of people think that when you exercise, they might say, geez, I could never do that. I'm too short. I'm too skinny. At age 14, my mother used to put rocks in my pocket when I went outside if it was a windy day so I wouldn't blow down the street. That's how thin I was. See, this is what I'm getting at. If you want to become good at whatever it is, that includes your studies, football, baseball, volleyball. You have to start. And when you start, never take your eyes off of what you want to do or become. You in the back over there, what is your name? Rochelle?
Are you going to go to the Olympics?
I'm a professional lifter. Let me explain the difference between an amateur and a professional. The Olympics are all handled by amateur athletic union. Those are people who don't get paid for what they do. I do. I had my choice years ago of whether I wanted to compete in the Olympics or do what I'm doing now, and I felt it'd be best to do what I know best. You over there with the striped shirt. Bobby?
3 hours do you work out?
About an average of 3 hours a day right now, 4 days a week. Because